Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Thomas. Today we're back here with Just Bad Games. Today, we're checking out John Romero's Daikatana. Don't know anything about this game going in, so definitely my first experience checking it out. So let's see what's up with Daikatana and see why it's a Just Bad Game. Be sure to like, subscribe for more. Hope you enjoy. Here we go.
John Romero's Daikatana is a PC game from the year 2000 that was developed by Ion Storm.
You may be thinking, who is John Romero and why is this his Daikatana?
Well, he's only one of the most important video game developers of all time.
John Romero is one of the founding members of id Software, a company that revolutionized the early video game industry by creating groundbreaking titles.
Hover Tank 3D, Wolfenstein 3D, Doom 3D, Quake 3D, and more. 3D!
The first-person shooter genre that we know today was essentially built by the talented team at id Software.
With a track record like that, you'd better believe they earned the admiration and respect of gamers the world over.
But eventually, the original team broke up and Ion Storm was formed with Mr. Romero and another id Software founder, Tom Hall, with other members of id Software jumping to Ion Storm as well.
Ion Storm, being founded by such influential members, was bound to attract attention. When Romero announced that the company would be working on a brand new title called Daikatana, people were hungry to know more.
Originally, Daikatana was going to be developed in just a few months, utilizing the Quake engine. With development knowledge of these two senior members from id Software, it was easy to believe that they might actually hit that goal.
But that's not what went down. Daikatana would get delayed for years from its expected release date in 1997.
It went through multiple changes.
And ran a tone-deaf, edgy ad campaign in magazine spreads that Romero himself has since regretted and apologized for, stating that the ad changed his relationship with the gaming community.
How often were these magazines run? Quarterly?
Possibly.
Anyway, in the new millennium, the game was released. So how did the game turn out?
Well, get ready to sharpen your swords. It's time to slice into this game and find out.
It starts by introducing you to Hiro Miyamoto, a sword sensei.
He teaches kids how to play with swords.
One day, he's visited by a sick old man named Toshiro Ebihara, who informs Hiro that reality is not as it should be. A man by the name of Kage Mishima found a sword that Hiro's ancestor had made several generations earlier. The sword, known as the Daikatana, grants impressive abilities to its wielder, including time travel.
Great Scott! With that power in hand, Mishima has warped existence into a dystopian nightmare. Toshiro begs Hiro to save his daughter from the clutches of Mishima and take back the legendary Daikatana to fix the disrupted timeline.
Suddenly ninjas!
They kill Toshiro and knock out Hiro, but don't kill him because this game needs a protagonist.
So Hiro decides to avenge this random guy he just met and hide in his coffin, which is being taken to Mishima's giant castle.
This entire opening is nearly 10 minutes. It's info-heavy and stuffed with unnecessarily lengthy cinematic shots.
They certainly had a grand vision for the game. We wanted to ensure that we properly experienced exactly what the developers felt confident in giving customers. So we're playing the final official release from Ion Storm. No fan patches, classic 4:3 aspect ratio, and all.
Right. So how does Daikatana actually play?
Let's go. Yikes, that is one long loading screen.
This does not bode well.
A little bad news. This metallic clinking sound, you're going to be hearing it at every loading screen. And the game loads a lot.
Into the first level of the game, and we got ourselves a first-person shooter. Not exactly out of the comfort zone of a team composed of former id talent. It feels a lot like Quake 2. Not surprising, considering it's running on the Quake 2 engine. It's fast and responsive. It feels foreboding and dangerous. It's
kind of an RPG?
What?
Role-playing game. That's what this is supposed to be, according to John Romero himself.
Place RPG character building along solid first-person shooting mechanics with towering, lightning-quick enemies? That sounds amazing!
And it would have been, but instead we get...
Frogs.
Robotic frogs.
Mosquitoes.
Robotic mosquitoes.
Crocodiles.
Robo-crocs.
Robotic crocodiles. I think we're starting to see a pattern here.
We're given a mechanized zoo to fight in a swamp. Enemy types that mostly force you to look down at the ground or look awkwardly up in the air to engage them. This would have been fine if it wasn't for your starting weapon.
The Ion Blaster. Likely named after the word ion in Ion Storm, projectiles will decimate foes with an attack that can bounce off walls and hurt you.
Shooting at deflective surfaces in confined spaces will have you poking holes in yourself. Your first weapon has a learning curve, making it a poor choice for your first weapon.
We muscle on through the stage until we head to a door that Hero can't pass, and suddenly...
What the ghost?
What the? Who's...
Oh, him? That's the ghost of your long-dead ancestor. And
Hi,
I'm a
Money
ghost
Ghost.
of the money you wasted on this terrible f***ing game!
We get into the
I
next
can imagine.
area where we
Jeez.
find Mishima workers, and this happens.
What do we do? Ow. So much for those... Good, well, you know what? But...
The AI here is totally broken. These workers eventually run into some of the gears and moving objects in the levels that act like a puzzle sequence, breaking it.
They even drown themselves if you watch them long enough.
Oh, but don't for a minute think that the NPC AI is the only problem here.
As Hero works his way through the Mishima facility, he comes across Superfly, a prisoner who
Superfly?
formerly worked for Mishima. Hero frees Superfly, and he joins the quest.
Now, you might think that Superfly only shows up in cutscenes, not actually joining you throughout each stage, but you would be utterly wrong.
Superfly
Wait,
is
what?
an AI-controlled
joins?
sidekick who will play alongside you. His AI is about as good as these guys.
So, not good.
There are 3 basic rules that govern your sidekick experiences.
In order to complete a stage, the sidekick needs to be with you.
Sidekicks are restricted to the same path of movement that you are.
If the sidekick dies, it's game over.
Let's break down how freaking awful this is in practice.
Hero needs to complete puzzles and level traversal the whole time with a sidekick that easily gets stuck and lost through every minute of play.
Superfly generally operates by himself, but once in a while you'll have to intervene with a series of keyboard commands like follow, grab, or stay, which your sidekick has about a 50-50 chance of understanding.
Superfly gets stuck. A lot.
Here's how Superfly uses a door.
Is it gonna help him? Ow.
But it's not all doom and gloom. Sidekicks can use weapons to help you take on the constant rush of enemies.
Superfly will consistently shoot while you're in front of him. Since this is a game where your sidekick naturally follows behind you, guess what happens?
He shoots through you, and of course, the game features friendly fire.
None of the
Really?
weapons in this game are well designed. Most have wide splash damage that can easily hurt you in Superfly with every shot. The real danger in this game is not the enemies dotted throughout the levels, it's your arsenal. Oh, and Superfly.
Yeah.
Broken AI is a huge
Seriously,
problem
who
in
thought to
Daikatana.
just, like,
We would spend
hey,
a massive
yeah,
amount of
oops.
time finishing a stage, only to realize when we got to the end that Superfly was lost somewhere in the level. We had to backtrack until we found him and nudge him in the right direction. Repeating this through each stage practically doubles the gameplay time.
Oh, we didn't even mention what happens when Hero dies. Sure, it's a game over and you'll need to restart, but with Superfly at your side, you get this.
This is the weirdest game for sound I've ever heard.
Goodbye, hero.
Yeesh.
Up until this point, Superfly's known Hero for, I don't know, 10, 20 minutes. He gets attached easily.
I wonder what it's like when his goldfish dies. If
Yeah.
his falling wasn't
No kidding. What the heck? Like, who does that? It's a weird ass just like cry. Just like that has to be the fakest thing I've ever heard today. Anyway.
annoying enough, other sounds in this game are beyond grating. Remember how we mentioned that almost everything is robotic? When things move, you'll know it.
One robot sounds like this.
But hearing a bunch of them in a room at once?
Yeesh. Years.
That's not enough. Well, we need more sounds. How about we slap a gas-powered engine to the back of Hero's hand and constantly blast a recording of a lawnmower?
Or feedback?
Oh yeah! Noise pollution is awesome! Whoa!
So, things aren't looking good for John Romero's Daikatana.
But wait,
There's
there's
more!
more!
You and Superfly will eventually find Toshiro's daughter. Remember the old man from the intro cutscene? Anyway, her name is Mikiko, and when you rescue her, she joins you, meaning that you now have two. Not one, two sidekicks you need to babysit at all times.
All the problems with Superfly double them.
The bulk of the game is reduced to escort missions with 2 AI-controlled characters that lack the basic ability to use stairs.
Did we mention how strange it looks when anyone walks on stairs in this game?
How is this game so janky? Getting through stages is like trolling through muck. If you have the incredible mental endurance to push forward, you'll make your way to the room that houses the magical sword, the Daikatana.
To grab it, you'll need to blow up a bunch of brains in jars. Feels like we're getting a little symbolism.
You grab the sword. Game over, right?
Wrong!
Kage Mishima, the sword thief and head of the Mishima Corporation, appears holding another Daikatana. Hiro lines up to attack him, but is told,
These two swords are actually one and the same. If they were ever to cross or touch in any way, the world as we know it would cease to exist.
We also saw Ghostbusters.
So Hiro screams, the screen goes white, and Hiro wakes up alone in ancient Greece. Welcome to another of Daikatana's big selling points, multiple time periods.
The game has a total of
Greece,
4.
Norway, and San
Each time
Francisco.
period you travel to will have completely different weapons and items. Oh, and every time you travel, you have to rebuild your inventory from scratch.
Not that it matters, because you still have the Daikatana, the only weapon that you should be using in this game.
The more you use it, the more powerful it gets. It doesn't need ammo refills, and with it, you can obliterate any enemy, unless they're flying above you.
Hiro's stats also level up as he gains XP. This is an RPG after all, but it doesn't matter. You won't notice a difference.
So, we're in Greece. We find Mikiko. She's still impossible to control.
And this time period, worse than the last.
Every item and interactive object, it's like learning a new language. You need to learn new ways to complete puzzles and open doors that have no connecting logic to anything you played in previous stages.
For example, in this area, we cleared out every enemy. There are several locked doors. We assume that at least one of these doors needs to be opened. So we look through the whole stage for the better part of an hour trying to find a switch to open them.
Eventually, by pure chance, Mikiko walked on a tile that opened only one of the many locked doors in the level. There was no indication anyone needed to stand anywhere, and this is the only time in the whole game that this one switch mechanic was ever used.
Instead of playing a fast and smooth FPS, we're crawling along, trying to find out how to open a door with no enemies in sight and an AI that keeps getting stuck on railings. Our sidekicks are more clueless than we are.
I wonder where we are. What is it, Hiro? What's wrong?
Did you see that?
See what?
John Romero's gonna make you his
Never mind.
Get to the end of this time period and you fight Medusa.
Yeah, Medusa, the mythical figure that turns you into stone if you look at her. She's here.
How do you beat her? We tried running up and swiping at her furiously with the ever-powerful Daikatana. And when we finally killed her,
The game crashed. Apparently, you're not supposed to be able to use the Daikatana on Medusa, despite us literally doing just that. You're supposed to use an eyeball on a stick.
great! We find Superfly, who was turned to stone, but got better.
With the Daikatana fully charged with Medusa's life force, it's time for our heroes to get to the past and fix the timeline. Hiro uses the Daikatana to open the time vortex.
And Mishima is there, waiting. Hiro and Mishima feign fighting with their swords, despite Mishima already saying that all existence would end if the two swords touch.
But never mind. Mishima beats Hiro and sends the group to the medieval time period.
Where are we now? Is that a village over there?
Oh, good job, Makiko. Here's a cookie.
We've got the Daikatana and our two idiotic sidekicks by our side.
Makiko was bitten by a rat.
We've got the Daikatana and an idiot carrying an idiot by our side.
In this time period, there's a king who's sick, and the citizens have been changed into zombies.
You'll need to find parts of a sword spread across the kingdom that, once combined, can make the king better.
You'll also need to fight wizards. Each of them have a staff that you can grab after defeating them. The first one has a fireball staff. We fight him, we kill him.
And Superfly and Mikiko get crushed to death for no reason. Game over.
Okay. We battle the same wizard again. We kill him.
And Superfly and Mikiko accidentally fall into a pool of lava. Game
Son
over.
of a
The AI cannot
bitch.
possibly be any more senseless than this.
Like they're just.
All right, Nope, I'm out. I'm calling
No,
it.
hey, come back here.
Tag out.
That's it.
Don't you dare leave.
Too
When you
late.
get past the Fire Wizard, you're on to the next, which we're just gonna go ahead and call the Glitch Wizard, because every aspect of this enemy encounter is broken beyond belief.
It's a boss fight. Now, with most boss fights, you may be tempted to save near this encounter, but don't. Saves near the Glitch Wizard get corrupted.
The Glitch Wizard also gets stuck on stairs, and he can't be killed. Time to reload the game.
But let's say you finally corner the Glitch Wizard and attempt to take him out. Well, here he just loops around the level taunting you. He can't be killed. Time to reload the game.
Let's say
Again.
you replay this boss battle over 40 times, and on your 41st attempt, you finally, through sheer will, find a path through all the broken gameplay and manage to deliver a killing blow?
Bam! The game completely crashes and corrupts your save file.
How is this so broken?
We seriously lost count of
Yeah,
how
no
many
kidding.
times
How
we
many times
replayed this
this is
section,
broken?
but eventually something accidentally worked and we found our way through.
Found sword pieces,
Finally.
assembled, gave to King, King healthy, King make Makiko healthy, King charge Daikatana, time
Thank you.
travel to final destination. No, not that one, don't get excited.
San Francisco in
Okay,
2030.
Now that Makiko's better, you once again have to deal with the super stupid twins doing mind-bogglingly idiotic platforming and hampering your every move.
In the end, we face off against
All right, one more to
Mishima
go.
in a submarine dock. He throws caution to the wind and decides to clash his Daikatana with heroes.
Why isn't the world blowing up and existence not existing? We don't know.
No.
And no one cares.
What we can tell you though is that eventually after Mishima throws ghosts at you and you knock him down,
Hero's sword disappears. Mishima's doesn't. Hero and his two defective paperweights decide to take the sword and recharge its time-traveling abilities by sticking it into a nuclear reactor.
but wait! Makiko pulls the radioactive sword out of the reactor and kills Superfly, because secretly she wanted the sword this whole time and her ancestors actually backstabbed Hero's ancestor who made the original Daikatana, so she's evil now.
Cool. Yeah, whatever. You fight Makiko and you kill her.
Hooray! Everyone is dead!
Dead.
Hero decides to use the freshly powered Daikatana to fix the flow of time, and now everyone is alive and everyone's happy.
We get one last shot of Hero, who is sitting peacefully in a secret location. The Daikatana is hidden under his house and he appears to have stolen the Mona
Mona
Lisa.
Lisa?
That was Daikatana on PC in all its brutal glory.
Ah, but it wasn't the only version of this game. There are a total of 3 completely different and
so
unique versions of
N64 and
Daikatana.
that-
Remember how John Romero said he
Yeah.
liked Zelda? Well, arguably the best version of the game looks strikingly like Zelda. The Game Boy Color version isn't an amazing game, but it's good for an action-adventure title. But the same developers of the Game Boy Color version also ported Daikatana to the Nintendo 64, and that deserves a closer look.
We've gone back and forth trying to figure out if the N64 version is worse than the PC, but this isn't an easy thing to decide.
We're not saying the console version of the game is good. No, it's definitely bad. In some ways, it takes big steps back from what was offered on the PC.
It's a console-based first-person shooter with terrible aiming mechanics. Everything is floaty, and doing basic things like crouching require complicated button combos not taught to you at any point.
Cutscenes tend to go on forever in the N64 release, and even if they're the same length, they feel way longer. There's no voice
Might be the
acting and no
frame rate.
sound effects at all. Just terrible looping music.
But believe it or not, the animations in the cutscenes are sometimes better than the PC version. Even though the frame rate is way worse, story beats and character development that are here are just more fleshed out than what you get on the PC version.
Another improvement, every single level plays out as one piece. No loading. They manage this by making levels much smaller, cutting out the fat from the PC version. This makes some levels overly simple and seriously boring, but hey, at least they flow properly. Something that cannot be said about the PC release.
Whole chunks of Daikatana PC are missing in the N64 version. Even boss levels that are hinted at with cutscenes. On PC, there's a 3-headed Cerberus dog we fought. On N64, well, we see the dog in a cutscene, and then that's it. He just disappears.
But we have to commend the developers on the N64 version for one thing. They removed Superfly and Makiko from the gameplay. Now they're only in the cutscenes.
Really?
God.
So there's no more?
That, yeah. Oh wait, what about the
That's
fan
right. It doesn't
mods?
make the port better, but it sure helps.
Daikatana on N64 is a weird mess, like a bad police sketch of the original game. In their desperation to complete the port, the devs cut out some aspects, simplified others, and generally rushed the game. Hey, who actually made this game?
Nobody special. Just the same developers who worked on Batman Dark Tomorrow.
I was using a Daikatana at the end of my game, and nobody noticed.
Daikatana was an incredibly ambitious title from Ion Storm, attempting to bring several game concepts into one and not making any one work.
Without a doubt, it would be years before any development team would marry role-playing mechanics, story, and a first-person shooter into anything resembling a good game.
Wait, didn't Deus Ex come out the same year?
Oh, right, it did. Who developed it?
Oh,
Wait, what? What?
It's just bad.
yeah. Sounds like Daikatana fell on its face so Deus Ex Machina could run. I mean, sheesh. It's just not good. Thank God I missed this. Well, anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed that one. See ya.